You said.
watching The Get Up Show.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the show. You already know who it is. It's your host with the most, Sendesdhaiti, back in this thing with another one. Today we're gonna be going into a very special topic. Today we're going into ICE and the current administration situation and the current predicament they face, with certain people saying that they're no longer going to be paying taxes this year. You know, people are seeing all of their funds go to other extracurriculars from other countries that don't even have anything to do with them, apparently making a bad situation worse, basically. And then they look at their own country and then they see what's going on with all these ICE situations, and they're like, damn, I'm not trying to pay for that either. So these people are in a tough situation, and so is this administration right now. So let's take a look today at some of these examples and see really what I'm talking about. So first thing on the list is people being concerned over this year's taxes. Let's take a look here. And let me see here. Wait, is this the right playlist? Oh my God. Sorry, folks. Here we go.
Hey, I'm all.
I'll start here.
Because there is a massive movement online right now to fucking go exempt on your taxes. Have you seen this?
Let me know
and
if
a lot
it's
of
coming
people
up
are
clear,
saying
folks.
that we need a tax strike. And it's fucking getting real traction, dude. I have been saying this for years. I'm gonna figure out if I can go exempt.
Well, you go exempt and I won't, and then we'll have this conversation.
The thing is, you can go exempt all day. You just, at the end of the year, you might have to pay a massive amount of fucking taxes. It's not illegal to go exempt.
Yeah, but I'm not.
But I'm telling you, if enough people, and this is where this movement is really gaining traction, and I'm going to take full fucking credit for it, because I've been saying this for years and years and years. Yeah. I have been saying this for years. If you want to affect change in this country, cut their fucking money off.
Yeah.
And this is how we do it.
Yeah.
If 20, 30, 50, 100 million people go exempt on their tax forms and their W-4s and their I-9s and all this shit, then the government doesn't have your money to play with anymore.
Yeah, so that's the idea most people are going with right now. And I understand the sentiment. You know, you're not going to want to pay taxes to a country that's terrorizing people, or a country that's taking over other countries, you know, like especially when this is supposed to be the land of the free. So I wholeheartedly agree with this. It's just like he said, you're still going to have to pay taxes at the end of the year, or else you're going to jail. I mean, some people find ways to, not pay taxes, themselves, but it's usually through organizations, But let's take a look at the comments for this and see what some of the patrons have to say about this. So we're getting a lot of fire emojis and whatnot, but what we see here is, why don't we also file a class action lawsuit against the federal government? So people are actually considering this, Federal income tax is a temporary tax. I think it's time to end it altogether. It goes to military and fraud. Excuse me. Both are lame. Yep, and for mandating COVID shots on us. Yeah, let me know if any of you guys took that one. I kind of saw the writing on the wall. You know, they're gonna force you to inject some foreign substance into your body. You know, in a hurry, in a rush, basically. You know, I didn't trust that at all. And now they're actually saying that some of those studies weren't even actually, but they weren't even factual, guys. So think about that. Like, what were people actually putting that into their bodies for real? Interesting. I'm staying tuned. Congress, not Prez, has purse string power, which is insane. You know, there's supposed to be checks and balances in this government, but somehow they've just stepped all over it, you know? But, however, let's take a look at one of these other videos and we'll see exactly what some other content creators are thinking of doing about this no tax situation.
Oh, the internet is buzzing right now. People from both sides of the political aisle are calling for a tax strike, so nobody pay your fucking taxes next month. Dude, as a former drug dealer and a libertarian, I'm super down. Taxes have always been gay as shit.
Damn, a former drug dealer is crazy.
Especially now that the president is certifiably, undeniably a pedophile, and the Justice Department is covering up for them. They broke the law. They won't release the Epstein files. They're illegally bombing a foreign country.
You know, funny thing about those Epstein's files, you know, like, it's a criminal proceeding, right? So how is it that a criminal proceeding, which is supposed to be public, just kept from the public? And it's crazy because, like, it felt like they were backtracking it for a while, where they would just say, okay, we'll release these files, you know, whichever you want to call them. We'll release these files, you know, but they just kept backtracking. Okay, next week, next month, next year. And now that you look, it's been like how much time has passed, like, since we've brought this up, and still no files, right? And just recently, they actually just said the government has no responsibilities or legal whatevers. Like, they've got no obligation. There we go. That's the word. They've got no obligation to release these files to the public out of nowhere. Like, if a law enforcement agency wants access to those files, they're supposed to be able to get it. But you're saying the government supersedes the law? That's insane.
Trump is holding Benjamin Netanyahu's pocket like a prison bitch. He's sending our tax money, billions of dollars, to the most wanted war criminal in the world right now. Why? Why the fuck should I pay these people? We need to start accepting the fact that America is not only a failed state, we're an occupied state. So literally a foreign government controls our government, which we fund with our tax dollars. So we have to start treating this the way we treated the British in the 1770s. We have to overthrow this demonic, evil, foreign tyranny.
And the funny thing is, what you're seeing with ICE and how they're basically overstepping the local law enforcement now, it's looking like the tyranny is being overthrown as it is, you know? Like, the government itself is being overthrown. And it's being overthrown by, how you say, radical rightist or leftist. I don't even know which side they're on, but it's being overthrown by radicals, right? The people who are being trained, you know, within, what is it, 47 days or something? They're being trained within a such short amount of time, but they're given so much power and just told to blatantly overstep laws, like not even local laws, federal laws, constitutional laws, overstep them. And they said, don't worry, it's okay, from this administration. Meanwhile, that's just on the pretense that the next administration is going to be the same administration, right? Like, what happens if if the Trump administration loses, in the next 4 years or in the next 3 years? What happens then? So are these people going to have that immunity that they say they're going to have, or are they just going to have that rug pull like everyone else? Like what everyone thinks, But time will tell.
And the only way we can really do that is by refusing to pay taxes. They can't send all of us to prison. And by the way, I've been there. It's not that big of a deal. I got a cool ass podcast out of it. Highly recommend it. Just don't pay your taxes, because I can't be
Don't take that advice, guys.
the only motherfucker not paying. So will you promise me that? Cool. All right. We're not paying taxes. Fuck them.
So, I mean, I'd be down to do this. It's just I have to know the proper way to do it, right? I'm not trying to, at the end of the day, have the government come to my door and start banging on my door talking about where's the taxes that I owe, So, like, if I could exempt for the entirety of the year and then at the end of the year I just pay what I was going to pay anyway, I'd much rather do that. At least it would, keep some of that money from getting to them a little sooner, At least it will do that, slow the things down a little bit for them. But let's take a look at the chats, though. Let's take a look here. And, as you can see, some people are stoked about this. This one guy saying, seeing everyone unite this past few days has been amazing and a total morale booster. Taxation is theft. And again, from the last post we just saw, taxes were supposed to be temporary. And yet somehow this temporary status became commonplace. Not even just in income, like just direct income, but literally in all facets of the government. Purchases, inheritances, all that stuff. Like, they take taxes from it when it's supposed to be temporary. And when it was only supposed to be what, like 4%? Now it's up to 20, more than 20 sometimes, up to 40%. I've heard people's gotten the entire half taken away and still had to owe at the end of the year. So I don't even know how that works. But these people are getting their money, and yet when it comes down to basic services, like in New York, for example, one of their most, highest revenue earning cities, some of their trains don't even run correctly, bro. Like, they've got security issues and whatnot. But if you're having that in some of the most high populous cities in the US, there's an obvious spending problem. Like, there's an obvious spending problem. I haven't filed taxes in a few years. I also just bought a 50-acre farm. I do not plan to file or even apply for a business license to operate my farm. I'm done altogether with the government being in my life. Complete non-compliance. I will still be paying property tax on my land because it's only $800 a year. It's worth paying that for my local police and fire services. I mean, hey, that's the best way to do it. I feel like, get yourself a nice plot of land. Not even just big. It got to be, useful land. But get yourself a nice plot of land, and just build whatever you want on there. Shoot, that's how you do it. And at the end of the day, like, that way you would not rely so heavily on these infrastructures. You wouldn't be paying so much into this broken system. So yeah, let's look on to the next video.
101 days until April 15th, which is tax day in the United States, and I guess we're not paying taxes anymore. He says at some point in the not too distant future, you won't have to pay income tax. Well, I think we should start now. What do you think? Now, a lot of people have pointed out that they've already paid taxes for 2025, and you know what? You should go get your money back. But you can still file exempt for 2026. You can fill out a new W-4. I have the link in my bio, and you can mark exempt. You can fill that out by February 15th and submit it to your company, and see what happens. We're all in this together. We know this government's corrupt. We know all kinds of things are going on that we don't want to fund, and we have to take the steps necessary to stop funding them. 101 days until April 15th, which is tax day in the United States, and I guess...
So you've got the game plan, folks. He's even got people for like
we're not paying taxes
through the
anymore.
forms, man.
He says at some point in the not too distant future, you won't have to pay income tax. Well, I think we should start now. What do you think? Now, a lot of people have pointed out that they've already paid taxes for 2025, and you know what? You should go get your money back. But you can still file exempt for 2026. You can fill out a new W-4. I have the link in my bio, and you can mark exempt. You can fill that out by February 15th and submit it to your company, and see what happens. We're all in this together. We know this government's corrupt. We know all kinds of things are going on that we don't want to fund, and we have to take the steps necessary to stop funding them. 101.
So yeah, like people have to do this. At least if they're serious enough to do it, like if they want to make an impact, like an actual physical impact, is not to pay your taxes or just file exempt. Because at the end of the day, here's what I think. I think the protests are good, to raise awareness about these things, but the government is going to continue to do what they want to do unless their budget is affected. Unless that happens, they're just going to keep doing the same thing. So go straight to the source and just affect the budget, And of course, that's easier said than done. But if enough people do it, they'll have to pay attention to our needs. Like they'll have no other choice. We need a legit website so we can quantify the movement and actually make this permanent. Closest thing I found, NWTRCC. Ah, yes, a website that would have to track people to be accurate, which can then be used to track the people who aren't paying taxes. Some people have no common sense. Oh my God, there's always that one pushback person. Brother, they'd know who already. You have to file exempt to even stop them from automatically taking the funds out of your paycheck for taxes. This is literally the most passive and easiest form of protest. How is this not viral? Of course it's not going to be viral because it's against that algorithm that they'd want, to push funds towards, the governing party. Like if they made this information widely available, then it would be a bad thing for them. Because then the government would be, running down their necks talking about, you let people listen to this bullshit. And you already know they'd have to put a silence to it quick. Let's take a look at this one here.
Hey, I'm all for not paying taxes. I've been saying this for decades. Y'all got to realize, you city folk, when you stop paying taxes, your electricity's going to get shut off. Most of y'all.
And before we get into this, I'm going to give you one more time to like the video. I need you to like the video to get us back into the algorithm. We're going to be doing this as many times as we can, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be going live at least. I'll try to at least upload once per week, right? I know that's low, but this is a way for me to get back into things. So this makes one, and then tomorrow I'll try to make two if time permits, right? But let's say if I do a morning show, right? How many of you are going to tune in? I need y'all to tune in droves, all right? So I could do a morning show for y'all. You know, tune into the morning show for the drive to work. You know, if you're working through the day, tune in. You know, I'm gonna be up early, around 9 o'clock, and then we'll make streaming great again. But one more time to like this video, cause chances, baby, I done gave you way too many chances to like it already. So let's continue with this.
All in Las Vegas would die right now if the power got shut off.
Wait, we gotta bring that one back.
Hey, I'm all for not paying taxes. I've been saying this for decades. Y'all got to realize, you city folk, when you stop paying taxes, your electricity's going to get shut off. Most of y'all in Las Vegas would die right now if the power got shut off. There'd be no water, no power. You'd be dead. I'm just telling you, if you're going to stop paying taxes, you better start being able to provide for yourself. I mean this shit, because as soon as we get together and say, hey, we're not paying taxes, you got to provide for yourself. Do you have food, water, shelter, ammunition, a fighting spirit ready to die? If you don't have all those boxes checked, you better pay your taxes, okay? And let me tell you, I'm not paying them. So let's do this shit. And y'all be ready, because they're going to try to starve us out. They're going to bomb us. They're going to shoot us. They're going to cut the power. You don't understand. If we stop paying our taxes, these people are going to come kill us. So y'all better be ready to fight, not just be talking about it, because I'm ready for this shit. In fact, I got my popcorn ready. Let's go.
So yeah, you know, the rednecks stand with him. No, I'm just kidding. Nah, but that's the truth though. Like, the one thing people lack in times like these is their own private infrastructure. Like, most people don't grow their own food. Most people don't clean their own water. Most people don't make their own electricity or power. You know, if the grid were to shut down today, most people would go into panic. Like, that's the reality of it. People would just start looting and rioting, looting all the stores, you know, whatever, the supermarkets. It would be pandemonium. But unless there is like a private, not a private company, but a private community, like a private architecture that came together to make sure people got food on a daily basis, unless there's something like that, then, you know, you need the government. Like, and you need private business, which is probably, you know, where this country, like, that's probably one of the reasons why this country has gone towards capitalism and private corporations. You know, most of the supermarkets are privately owned now. You know, most of the chain supermarkets purchase from only a select few of distributors for their goods, such as like Purdue Farms for chicken and whatnot. You know, I'm pretty sure you could go into a supermarket near you right now and find a Purdue Farms packaging for your chicken. So it's things like that. It's like we're being funneled into this system where only a select few companies benefit. And as a result, if those companies were to ever fall through or just stop giving us the service or just decide to jack up prices like they are now, we would just have to take it. You know, we would either have to not get the services that they chose to not give us anymore, or pay for the extremely high price, you know, $30 for one steak. And people would have to bite the bullet and buy that shit, you know. That's the reality we're in. Unless we're growing our own cows and planting our own foods, you know, we have to, this is what we do There's no have to. This is what we do. We have to rely on the government. Now, you're saying, stop paying taxes, then certain services are going to get cut off. Certain services are going to get more expensive. They're going to have to push the cost off to somebody. The people willing to still pay for it. But let's take a look at the comments, though. Y'all think you're ready for war, but you don't even have a wood stove in your home. Y'all better get ready. I'm trying to wake y'all up. Total war is coming. It will be glorious. Spoken like a true redneck, bro. And don't get offended by the word redneck. From what I've heard, it's a term of endearment from some of y'all. So don't come to my comments running here talking about disrespecting who. Disrespecting who there? And let me know if Twitch is coming up. Because for some reason it's not showing on here. But we gonna make it work though. We're coming up clear on YouTube, that's for sure. That is for sure. But I'm getting a little hungry. Hold on. So this guy's like, I'm moving into Louis' doghouse. What? Who's Louis? Alright, so yeah, as you can see, he's got some supporters on this. A self-sufficient man is a strong man. God bless, Bryce. Hope you and the family have a happy new year. That's for real, though. Self-sufficient. Say what you like. Say what you will, but Bryce is 100% right about this. But yeah, they agree about the sentiment, If you're going to withhold taxes, get ready for what's to come with that.
Right? Go to your HR department on Monday and tell them that you don't want to withhold any federal taxes from your payroll. Now, look, put those in a separate account because you're still going to probably have to pay them at the end of the year, unless Trump takes my idea and pardons every citizen for not paying taxes in 2026. But you would break the trend of not giving.
Yeah, let's
Giving the government an interest-free loan on your income for an entire year. You can just pay it at the end of the year when you do your taxes in April of 27. A few million productive citizens do that. I bet the Treasury starts panicking. Bet we get their attention real quick. Folks, just so you know, I don't just come on, right? Go to your HR department on Monday.
What? Oh, okay, there we go. My bad. Sorry, I was adding new sound effects today, but let's continue.
And tell them that you don't want to withhold any federal taxes from your payroll. Now, look, put those in a separate account because you're still going to probably have to pay them at the end of the year, unless Trump takes my idea and pardons every citizen for not paying taxes in 2026. But you would break the trend of not giving the government an interest-free loan on your income for an entire year. You can just pay it at the end of the year when you do your taxes in April of 27. A few million productive citizens do that. I bet the Treasury starts panicking. Bet we get their attention real quick. Folks, just so you know, I don't just come on, right?
So, there's a lot of solutions for this right now. And some of these say, why the F do we have to pay them at all? The Pentagon can't even account for billions of dollars lost. Trump has grossed $3 billion since he's been in office. Let that sink in. IRS boycott. You realize Trump is the only president that has had a negative to his net worth being in office, right? Excuse me. That's not true. Because literally during his first term, he designated the Trump Tower as like it's like a historical landmark or some shit like that. Like, he's literally propped up his own properties during his first administration. Like, I'm pretty sure that affected his net worth just from that. And that was last time. Who knows how much he got this time. Bro literally said he captured Venezuela, took their oil, plans to sell it, and plans to have the funds in an offshore account he manages. Like, bruh. Like, this man is building his retirement account. For real. Even if you work at a restaurant, tell the manager to do this for you. This is the only way at this point to do. That might be the way. I'm telling you. That might be the way. So far, that's what people are thinking of doing this year, is not filing their taxes. Which, of course, is insane to do. But you better willing to, if you do it, you better be willing to face the consequences of it. That's either having to pay an extra high price at the end of the year, or if you decide not to file or tax or pay, go to prison. But let's take a look at some of these documents on ICE so far and see where some of your funds for taxes this year are gone.
We need a statement from Target on this, and please, everyone share this. Everyone needs to know what ICE is doing in the United States of America.
You guys are all on video.
No, listen. No, take my phone. Hey, they got my phone.
Where is the paperwork for that?
Where's the...
They do it on Target. They do it on Target.
Hey, go.
Ready to stand up?
Hey, don't work it.
Anybody else? Going to ask where the fuck the warrants are. You guys don't have rights.
What's your name? What's your name?
Jonathan Aguilar Garcia. I'm literally a U.S. citizen.
I'm literally a
U.S. citizen.
Get the fuck out of here, Race.
Why are you kidnapping our citizens?
Wow.
Why are you... Why? What's your phone number? We'll talk.
You want, damn, if only there was a way to like go back in this video.
From Target on this,
but
and please,
I literally
share
see
this. Everyone
another
needs to know
immigrant
what
American,
ICE is doing in the United States
picking
of
up
America.
another immigrant. Bro is gonna say he's from Seattle. Like, come on, bro. Like, your parents were literally here, like, from another country just like 2 decades ago.
You guys are all on video.
No, listen. No, take my phone. Hey, they got my phone.
Where is the paperwork for that?
Where's the...
They do it on Target. They do it on Target.
Hey, go.
Ready to stand up?
Hey, don't work it.
Anybody else? Going to ask where the fuck the warrants are. You guys don't have rights.
What's your name? What's your name?
Jonathan Aguilar Garcia. I'm literally a U.S. citizen. I'm literally a U.S. citizen.
Get the fuck out of here, Race.
Why are you kidnapping our citizens?
Wow.
Why are you...
This guy's Asian, guys. Like, he's Asian. Like, and the thing with me is some of these people are, coming into these communities and rounding up people who look almost like them. So it makes me wonder at the end of this, right? When you're done rounding up all of the illegals, quote unquote, who's to say they're just not going to turn on you? You know? You'll just be the next quota to fill. And that's if this administration isn't either vetoed out. Is that what you call it? Veto the president? Yeah. That's if he's not vetoed out. Or if they just outright lose at the end of this 4 years.
Where's your phone number?
At least give us information about his family. At least hear me.
That's insane. And of course, like even the young man said, he's a U.S. citizen. So some of these comments say it's heartbreaking. Of course it is. Some of them can't believe this is the America that they're witnessing today. And I also can't, you know. It has me thinking, wait, what? It has me thinking. Okay. All right, so there. Yeah, there we go. My soundboard is all out of whack. Sorry about that. But it's got people thinking like they're kind of baffled right now. Like it's giving Nazi Germany. These people take these videos are heroes. No worries. I'll never stop at Target again. I'll never shop at Target again. I mean, first of all, people weren't supposed to be shopping at Target for a while. Ever since they canceled all those DEI initiatives. Remember? Remember when there was a boycott Target movement going on like 1 month ago or 2 months ago? Target's not protecting shoppers. Target let it happen. They probably did, you know. And at the end of the day, don't they have security guards? This is when they choose not to step in. So let's take a look at another one.
Basically asking, can our cops arrest them?
Yeah.
From a legal perspective, yes. From a practical perspective, to state the reality, yeah, it does get kind of hard when they drastically outnumber us and they have bigger guns than we do. It does. And here's the thing. We don't want to create warfare in the street.
So that was Mayor Jacob Frey out of Minneapolis doing an interview with The Bulwark. And I need you to really lock in on what he just said. I need you to really, really understand what he just said, because understanding what he just said will help you understand the state of the union right now. And it is worse than I think even many of you realize. He just said, yes, our police force has the ability to arrest ICE. Now, first of all, pause. The fact that we're having this conversation to begin with should be alarming enough for anybody, that we are actually needing to have the conversation of whether or not police can arrest federal agents. Now, I call ICE state-sponsored terrorists. I call them Gestapo thugs because that's what they are. But for the time being, they are federal agents as declared by the president and the Department of Homeland Security. They should be not committing crimes when they come to cities, but they are. They're committing crimes because they're circumventing the rules, practices, and procedures that are in place for law enforcement. Like the guy who just shot Renee Good, Jonathan Ross, a few days ago in Minneapolis. He did not follow proper police protocol, because proper police protocol says you should not stand in front of a moving vehicle. You cannot create a scenario where you're allowed to use lethal force. This is standard knowledge, and he did that. So back to Mayor Frey. He says, yes, we can arrest them, but quite frankly, they have bigger guns than us. That's point number 2. I'm going to make 3 points. They got bigger guns than us. Remember the big, beautiful bill one of the only pieces of legislation that Trump and this Congress has passed, because they are the most ineffective administration in history, because Trump has no intention on ruling by legislation, but every intention by ruling by executive order, because he wants to be an authoritarian. Well, the big, beautiful bill provided so much funding to ICE that they have better resources than the local police. And then Jacob Frey, Mayor Frey, said this: we don't want to create open warfare in the streets. You see, this is the predicament that we are facing. We are literally at a position where we are this close to open warfare in the streets between the federal and state governments. That civil war, we're this close to it. And the leadership of these counties, cities, and states are being forced to have that conversation. I need you to think about that.
Shit. Sorry about that, folks. My mic was muted, but as you can see, it's going back to times of the SS Nazi Germany, where soldiers used to roll through towns, and the local police, used to have to have the local police let them know where the Jewish people were, which the local police were Jewish themselves. So think about that. Like, you'd have to give up your own people or else you'd be shot. Like, this is where it's come to now. And I'm not saying it's there yet, but, like, it's moving in that direction right now. It really is. So there's a question you have to pose yourself, like, what is people willing to do? Like, what are people willing to do to be able to make sure that this doesn't happen, right? To make sure that another world war doesn't just break out. And most importantly, to make sure we're not on the receiving end of it, because I'm not trying to go to war for this. Like, I'm not. So this guy says, or this woman says, so basically we need to handle it ourselves. Local militia, basically. Like, this is why we're supposed to have laws to bear arms. Some states ban having weapons altogether unless you've got it legally. All right? So, you have to arm yourselves. And you have to arm yourselves with something that, could stand up to what they have, right? Now, I'm not saying each of us carry bazookas, but at least rifles or something. Because I don't think those little pistols are going to do it. And I'm not trying to incite violence here either, forewarning. I'm not trying to incite violence or anything. But I do side with defending yourself. ICE has been dispatched by the President of the United States to terrorize the population of this country. That's it. America has fallen. We're under an authoritarian regime. There is no that's it. Like, you still have a voice. You still have ways to make sure this regime doesn't win. Sliding quickly to a dictatorship. Not yet, though. We are no longer in a democracy. I don't think we ever were. No one is going to mail us a notice. We won't get an alert on our phone. No newspaper or news media is going to have a headline. This is your notice. The United States is an authoritarian country. The fact that we're having this conversation is beyond crazy, brother. Every day I'm like, it can't get worse than this. And every day it just gets worse. That's because people are just sitting by and letting it happen. With what we mentioned before, which is a very valid way to do it, is withholding your taxes, right? You can't physically put your hands on law enforcement, but what you can put your hands on is their wallets and your wallets and keeping them from getting it as long as possible. That's what you can do legally to show your displeasement. Not going and burning Teslas, that's not going to do nothing. You know, affect them where it hurts, their pocketbooks. But let's take a look at another one here.
The former neighbors of Jonathan Ross say that within hours of the shooting, Jonathan Ross was home and immigration agents were playing moving men. They showed up in half a dozen unmarked vehicles and began taking things out of Jonathan's house, putting them into their vehicles and driving off. And once all of the vehicles were loaded, they escorted Jonathan and his immigrant wife out of their house into their personal vehicle, surrounded them, and drove off. And he has not been seen since. Now, this all occurred in the same time period when Kristi Noem and J.D. Vance say he was at the hospital. What was actually happening was he was at home packing. And him and his wife, well, they're now in protective custody for DHS. Nobody has seen them since the day that Renee Good was shot. They're protecting him. They knew what happened was wrong. They knew that people would be upset about it. What they didn't know is that J.D. Vance and Kristi Noem would be the ones to dox him. The former neighbors of Jonathan Ross say that within hours of the shooting, Jonathan Ross was home and immigration agents were playing moving men. They showed up in half a dozen unmarked vehicles and began taking things out of Jonathan's house, putting them into their vehicles and driving off. And once all of the vehicles were loaded, they escorted Jonathan and his...
Yeah, I remember hearing this, I think it was like last week. Yeah, this man just up and left, just never to be found again.
We have an update.
What's your name? Jonathan Aguilar Garcia. I'm not a U.S. citizen. I'm not a U.S. citizen. Get the fuck out of here, What?
Greg Bovino and his thugs were at Target and they arrested these two young Latino boys who were saying they were U.S. citizens. They didn't give an F. And then when they figured it out, what did they do?
Car. This guy right here. They let him out of the vehicle. They tortured him. This guy right here. Yeah. You okay, man? No, I'm not okay. Bro, shit's crazy. My man's bleeding. Bleeding. They slammed me on the ground. Alright, we gotta be able to call somebody. That's just ridiculous. Wait, you got family around? You got somebody here, man? Come on, we in here. Come on, man. You work here, don't you? No, I work at Target. You work, bro. Come on, bro. It's okay. You guys are so crazy. Man, slam this man up in the bar.
U.S. citizens working at Target, racially profiled. They did not believe them. They were saying they were U.S. citizens. Latinos, these are your sons, your brothers. They are targeting Latino boys. I've been saying this. And then you have to prove that you are a U.S. citizen. They're just not going to take your word for it if they think you're not. Who do you call? Lawsuit? The federal government? Who do you hold accountable? They were just doing their job. They're just picking up, rounding up brown people that are here undocumented. No, they're not. And this is coming for all of us. Please pay attention and share this video.
See, and that's the thing. Some people think, like I've been hearing from some people say, it's not gonna, this doesn't concern us, like it's not us this time, so on and so forth. But what I'm thinking is, this is us. Like, black and brown people have been fighting the same war for a long time. Like, granted, like there is, you know, colorism. That's a very big problem in these communities. You know, even in the Latino community, I've heard colorism is a very big problem. But hey, at the end of the day, you know, when we come across, I'm not going to say white supremacists because they're not always white. I don't think they are. But when we come across, you know, racism, you know, it's usually against people who are looking just like, you know, brown and black people. So for them to say this doesn't concern us, nah, yes, it does. And some of the comments say, I think this is the actual person who uploaded this video. Excuse me. Bro, both Christian and Jonathan were released from ICE custody. Christian was held for several hours. Jonathan was thrown out of the vehicle and later found by a bystander who recorded the now viral video. According to their account, Border Patrol Chief Greg Bovino approached them at Target with masked agents, did not present a warrant, did not ask questions, and focused on them immediately. Which, of course, as you all know, is profiling, which is supposed to be illegal. Target, are you okay with your employees being treated this way? I hope your numbers continue to tank. You know, I wish Target would reply on some of these posts, but they don't. We all need to continue to boycott Target. I hope that trend catches on too. And honestly, I have nothing against Target, but hey, you keep allowing these things to happen under your roof, like literally DEI, and just allowing ICE agents to just walk up in there with no security. You know, like they'll be quick to profile somebody thinking they're stealing when they're not. But when an actual threat comes in, they're nowhere to be found, guys.
This is your warning. This is your warning.
For what?
Stop fucking following us. You are impeding operations. This is the United States federal government.
Over here. I gotta get to my house.
This is your warning.
Gotta get to
All
my
right?
house.
Go home to your kids.
Go to church.
Go to home to your kids. This is your last warning.
I serve the Lord.
I will arrest you.
Go to church. Let people let
I guarantee you that. I guarantee you're not gonna like the outcome. Go home to your children. It's Sunday.
Yeah, go exactly. Let people go to church.
I don't understand how they could get mad people are following them in their own neighborhood. Like, you know, are we not free to do as we please and just walk or drive where we need to? Like, think about that. Like, they're really feeling threatened because someone is following them in their own neighborhood. Like, who's to say you guys just weren't going in the same direction?
Did you not learn from what just happened? Go home to your kids.
He says, did you not learn from what just happened? And it's the second video I've seen where someone says, didn't you learn from what happened? Did you learn from what happened? And then the person who's being told, learn what? If I don't listen to you and stop exercising my First Amendment rights, my right to just be a person in my own community, you're going to what, kill me? That's the lesson. And if you see this person is being told, go home to your children, stop following us. Now they're starting to claim that like just following them to observe them is impeding. They're claiming that's now a violation of law. There's a person with a gun drawn on the other side of the car. Why is the gun out? And the other part of this is what you're seeing more and more too is the agents are all filming. They don't have body cams, or they're claiming they don't use the body cams. Some of them may, some of them not, I don't know. But they're not releasing body cam footage, but they are filming. And so now you have a bunch of agents that are now all going to have their phones in one hand and their guns in the other, presumably, right? Because instead of having body cams that will record everything objectively to release, they will release subjectively whatever they fucking want from the phones. We also have no idea what they're using for facial recognition and all those other things, which, you know, go from sounding conspiratorial to seem obviously what is happening. They're now saying, learn the lesson of what happened, which is if you don't, follow an unlawful order, if you seem at all like you're annoying us, who knows what could happen?
It's insane, guys. Why the F are they allowed to call themselves police? They are not police. The police do not wear masks. And that's actually the messed up thing, because like usually you're not allowed to impersonate a police officer, right? So which is it? Are they DHS? Are they ICE? Are they police? Like, which is he? And at the end of the day, police, yeah, you're right. Police aren't supposed to wear masks. Like, there's an obvious safety thing that goes with that. Comply or die. Doesn't seem very land of the free. They've been giving a license to kill. It will happen again. America is freaking cooked. America is freaking cooked. Imagine that guy with a cap being the best and brightest. Are you guys great yet? Are you great yet? It's insane. Insane, good buddy. Is this the same Asian we saw earlier? So does he match the description of an illegal immigrant or something? Like, and I don't get what criteria they have to determine if someone's illegal or not. Like, I don't know if any of you remember. I don't know if any of you remember this meme right here. But I feel like this is exactly what they're using just to determine who's an illegal or not. Like, it's just like their own personal shade chart that they have here. Like, I feel like that's what they're using to determine who's who. Because it can't be, they're just walking by people and they're just showing them their papers as they're walking and saying illegal or not. Nah. And how come they haven't approached any European settlers or anything like that and asked them, are you illegal or not? Are you a citizen? Like, I'm pretty sure all those people who came here during, when was it? Like when Ukraine first started having their war, and then they had to come here in droves, right? Like, they literally just appeared here, and somehow they're not getting approached or anything, right?
You know what your visa classification is?
To, like, someone literally says here, is the ICE guy legal? Like, that's literally what I'm saying. Like, at the end of the day, like, when they're done rounding up their quotas of illegals, quote unquote illegals, they'll just turn to the closest next best thing, which is the illegals, quote unquote illegals, in ICE itself, right? Especially when it gets to the atrocities that's happening in these camps, right? They wouldn't want them to see it, or maybe they might need some guards to look after them, right? Just like the overseers of, like, I can't remember the exact name of it, but the people who oversaw the people in the camps, right, who were Jews themselves. Like, they weren't free, but yet they had some extra leeway status because they were overseeing the Jews, right? Meanwhile, they were Jewish themselves. So it's gonna be like that. It's just gonna be a different status or class of illegals. Oh, nah.
She's telling him like his name ain't Willie, but they still need his ID. Look at this shit, y'all. Stop!
I'll bring that back. And again, for the people who kept saying that this is not our fight, this is not our fight. Like when the fight starts going from brown Latinos to black Americans, that's when you know they're profiling. You know, classic act of profiling.
She's telling him like his name ain't Willie, but they still need his ID. Look at this shit, y'all.
So as you see here, enforcement operations in black and immigrant communities have faced intense scrutiny following a series of high-profile incidents and aggressive enforcement tactics. Disproportionate impact on black migrants, advocacy groups, and legal reports highlight systemic disparities in how black immigrants are treated by ICE. Detention and abuse. Black migrants represent approximately 28% of all abuse-related reports to advocacy hotlines, despite making up only 6% of the total ICE detention population. A 2025 report indicated that black immigrants are placed in solitary confinement at rates of up to 6 times higher than non-black migrants. Although they make up only 7% of the non-citizen population, black immigrants represent only over 20% of those in deportation proceedings based on criminal grounds often triggered by minor offenses. Damn, my reading is tough. Where are the criminals to help us all? Now I trust them more than law enforcement. I know, right? Like now you actually have to look at law enforcement with a side eye. And honestly, you never want that. Like when you can't even trust the law.
They came up to me, like, tried to grab me out of the car, but I got out first. I was like, what do you want? What is your problem? You hit me. And then he's like, well, you got papers? Show me somebody. I'm like, no, I'm not going to show you anything. I'm a citizen.
Why do you think they ran into your vehicle and tried to pull you out of the car?
Because I look Latino, that's it. I don't look white or got blue eyes. I'm sorry to say that, guys. But, you know, they saw this mustache and they saw me, you know, with a hat. Oh, this guy looks like a target.
You know, the messed up thing when they do these types of things, like, I don't think they're going to try and fix your vehicle after they ram it. You know, we're not going to see a check in the mail. We're not going to see nothing. And they're not going to apologize either. Like, that's the most messed up part. Like, you're just driving here and now all of a sudden your rear bumper's caved in.
Target, let's pull them over.
And did they do anything before they ran into you? Did
No.
they say stop?
No,
Did they say?
Well, they turned the light on, and then that's when I took a left. and I was gonna pull over, but then before I pulled over, they just hit me.
Thankfully, we are citizens and we were safe and no one was detained or shot or anything. I was terrified, shaking, crying.
What did you think was going to happen to this guy?
I didn't know. I didn't know, honestly. I just wanted him to come home safely to our kids. We have 4 kids, and that was they're always on my mind, and I want them to have a dad and a mom.
People are terrified. People are scared. People want to leave their country. They don't want to come out of their houses. They don't want to go to work. They're scared for the family, the kids. It could happen to anybody, They came up to me
that's insane. And this man speaks full English too. Like, granted, he speaks with an accent, but hey, he speaks full English, and you're gonna just question him saying he's not a citizen. Like, the thing is, they assume you're not a citizen. Hey, you're not a citizen. Where's your papers? That's why they ram you. Like, that's profiling. Like, how is this legal? I mean, it's not, but how is this allowed? Because they're racist. Like, that's the only thing that makes sense. Like, an administration to allow something like this to happen. He doesn't care. This guy does not care. This guy, you see this guy, he does not care at all. That's why he's allowing this stuff to happen, guys.
New footage coming out of St. Paul, Minnesota shows 4 male ICE officers on top of a U.S. citizen woman as she begs and screams out to them, "Please let me show my ID." But they don't let her. They instead put her into the back of an unmarked vehicle and flee the scene, leaving a totaled car in the middle of the road. Take a look.
Cop. You're not a traffic cop.
You probably noticed the heavily damaged car in the middle of the road with debris and glass everywhere. None of the agents addressed this. They just got in that car and left after they took that innocent woman. But this incident is part of a larger series of ICE operations in the Twin Cities that are still taking place as of right now. There are countless videos coming from multiple different locations showing aggressive enforcement actions like the ones you just saw. The worst part is, authorities have still not released a single piece of evidence showing this woman committed any crime leading up to this takedown. This is just more proof that it's not about getting out the illegals anymore. We have people begging to show proof of citizenship and they're still detaining them. Nobody is safer because of this. Schools and restaurants are having to close down because of what ICE is doing. This is a full-fledged attack on the American people. New footage coming out of St. Paul, Minnesota.
This is disgusting, yo. When are the normal cops going to start protecting their tax-paying citizens? I mean, you kind of should have seen that coming, though. Like, if you think about it, black people have been tax-paying citizens for years. We still got the batons to the head, dogs to the ass, and the fire hose. I'm not saying we as in me. I never experienced none of that. Thank God, Somebody had to put in the work. But they faced it legally. And those were tax-paid cops, right? So it's just a different ideology coming out now. And yeah, but that's going to be it for now, folks. I'm getting a little tired. And I hope you all enjoyed it. My bit rate is getting capped a little. I hope you all enjoyed this stream. One more time. I'm going to give you one more time to like this video before I end it. And like the video once again. Tune in tomorrow. Bright and early. And I look to see you all here. I look to see you all here. Oh, God. I look to see you all here. Oh, my God. Firas. Hey, yo. Okay. I look to see you all here next time. We out.
I'm gonna give you one more time. Damn, bro.